Welcome to IQD Dinar News, your go-to source for the latest updates on currency exchange rates, revaluation news, and insights into the Iraqi dinar. Stay informed and ahead of the curve with our timely analysis and breaking developments. The relationship between the United States and Iran has been complex and often fraught with tension, influencing various regions, especially Iraq, which has been at the center of U.S. foreign policy since the early 2000s. The context of Donald Trump's presidential campaign promises, particularly regarding Iranian influence in Iraq, reveals the intricate dynamics of U.S. politics, foreign policy, and the voices of diaspora communities such as the Iraqi American population in Michigan. The statement by Cato Sadler regarding the Iraqi community's potential role in determining the outcome of the U.S. elections underscores the significance of these voters in shaping not only domestic policies but also the future of U.S. engagement in the Middle East. Understanding the historical backdrop of U.S.-Iran relations is essential to grasp the motivations behind Trump's promise to voters. The 1979 Iranian Revolution marked a significant turning point, leading to the severing of diplomatic ties and the imposition of sanctions that have endured for decades. The U.S. has consistently viewed Iran as a destabilizing force in the region, particularly following its influence in Iraq post-2003, when the U.S. invaded Iraq and subsequently toppled Saddam Hussein's regime. This invasion inadvertently created a power vacuum that Iran has exploited to extend its influence through various political and military groups within Iraq, which has raised concerns among U.S. policymakers and citizens. Alec Trump's pledge to end Iranian influence in Iraq resonates deeply with many voters who see this issue as critical to national security and regional stability. His campaign emphasized a strong stance against Iran, framing it as a threat not just to U.S. interests but to the stability of the entire Middle East. By promising to curb Iran's influence, Trump aimed to appeal to voters who are concerned about the ramifications of Iranian power, particularly those in communities with strong ties to Iraq. The concerns of this community are multifaceted. They include worries about the impact of U.S. sanctions, the influence of Iranian-backed groups in Iraq, and the overall stability of the region, which directly affects their families and friends back home. Cato Sadler's assertion that the Iraqi community will determine the election highlights the potential for this demographic to sway the vote significantly, particularly in a swing state like Michigan. The dynamics of voting behavior among diaspora communities can be intricate. Many Iraqi Americans might prioritize foreign policy issues when voting, especially those related to Iraq and Iran, more so than other domestic policies. Their unique experiences as immigrants and their ties to Iraq mean that they often view candidates through the lens of how their policies will affect the situation in their homeland. Trump's promise may resonate with those who wish to see a reduction in Iranian influence, viewing it as a pathway to greater stability and peace for Iraq and the broader Middle East. Conversely, the presence of Kamala Harris as an opposing candidate introduces a different perspective on U.S. foreign policy. While both candidates may agree on the need to address Iranian influence, their approaches may differ significantly. Harris, representing the Democratic Party, might advocate for a more diplomatic approach, emphasizing engagement and dialogue over confrontation. The note from Dinar Guru encouraging voters to cast their votes reflects a broader message about civic engagement and the importance of participation in the democratic process. Regardless of individual preferences for candidates, the emphasis on voting underscores the significance of each vote in influencing the outcome of elections. This sentiment is particularly relevant in the context of the Iraqi community in Michigan, where engagement in the electoral process can empower individuals and amplify their voices on issues that matter to them. In the lead-up to elections, diaspora communities often mobilize around specific issues that resonate with their experiences. For Iraqi Americans, the implications of U.S. policy on Iraq and Iran are paramount, driving discussions in homes and community centers about which candidate aligns more closely with their interests and aspirations. Engaging in conversations about foreign policy, candidates' positions, and the implications of their votes creates a politically aware community that seeks to influence the democratic process. The impact of diaspora communities in elections extends beyond voting. It involves organizing events, discussions, and outreach initiatives to educate and inform fellow community members about the importance of their participation. This grassroots mobilization can lead to higher voter turnout, influencing not just the immediate electoral outcome but also shaping future political engagements and the platforms that candidates pursue in subsequent elections. Moreover, the engagement of the Iraqi community in Michigan is part of a broader narrative about the role of immigrants in American politics. As more immigrant communities become politically active, they challenge traditional voting patterns and bring new issues to the forefront of political discussions. The influence of these communities can lead to a re-evaluation of how political parties engage with diverse populations, recognizing the need to address the concerns and aspirations of voters from varied backgrounds. The 2024 elections represent a crucial moment not only for U.S. domestic policies but also for its foreign relations, particularly in the Middle East. The outcomes will have lasting implications for U.S. strategies regarding Iran, Iraq, and the broader region. As such, the voices of Iraqi Americans and their voting decisions will play a significant role in determining how these policies evolve and how effectively the U.S. addresses the complexities of its relationship with Iran while supporting the stability and prosperity of Iraq. Understanding the motivations and concerns of the Iraqi American community is essential for candidates who seek to win their support. Listening to their stories, acknowledging their struggles, and addressing their concerns can create a more inclusive political environment that fosters engagement and participation. Politicians who recognize the significance of these voters can tailor their messages and policies to resonate more deeply, forging connections that can translate into electoral success. The promise to end Iranian influence in Iraq can be seen as part of a larger narrative that encompasses U.S. interests, Iraqi stability, and the hopes of diaspora communities. The interplay between these factors shapes the landscape of American politics and highlights the importance of community engagement in the electoral process. As the Iraqi American community in Michigan and beyond mobilizes to make their voices heard, they contribute to the broader dialogue about U.S. foreign policy and its impact on Iraq and the Middle East. Ultimately, the 2024 elections serve as a reminder of the power of the vote and the importance of civic engagement in shaping not only the future of the United States but also the lives of people across the globe. As communities come together to advocate for their interests, they reaffirm the principles of democracy and the vital role that each individual plays in the electoral process. The participation of the Iraqi community in Michigan exemplifies the intersection of local and global concerns, underscoring the idea that democracy thrives when diverse voices are included and heard in the political arena. In conclusion, as voters head to the polls, the choices they make will resonate far beyond the immediate election. The implications of these decisions will shape U.S. foreign policy, influence the dynamics of the Middle East, and impact the lives of millions, including those in the Iraqi American community. The call to cast a vote transcends individual preferences, reflecting a collective responsibility to engage in the democratic process and advocate for a future that aligns with the values and aspirations of the community. Each vote is not just a statement of preference but a powerful expression of hope for a better, more stable world. Thanks for tuning in to IQD Dinar News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more updates on the Iraqi dinar and global currency trends, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.